Okay, guys, so I am going to talk about the major update that's coming after the PTB. There's a lot to talk about. I'm going to talk about some of it, but not all of it, just the major things that I really want to touch on. I have it pulled up on my screen, that's why I'm looking away. The first thing it talks about is unlocking perks. What they're going to do, instead of getting a teachable perk for each character, you gotta go through level 30, 35, and 40. You prestige that character, and all their perks can go to all of the survivors or killers, depending on which one you prestige. So, and it is the example on the screen about if you unlock the trapper, you prestige the trapper, you get all his perks on the other killers. Same thing for survivor. If you prestige Meg, you get all of her perks, which I think is cool. I like that change. I just wish I had known about it before I put a bunch of points into Sadeko and Trickster. But, it is what it is. Now, the next thing it talks about is no more resets. When you prestige a character, before, if you prestige, you lose all of the items, add-ons, offerings, everything. Now you lose nothing, which should have been that way a long time ago, but, better late than never. Let's see. There's an expanded prestige where you can prestige as many times as you want. When you get to a high level, you get a charm. I don't care about the charms. I never have. I have like one character I put charms on. I got bored one day and just wanted to see what it looked like. That's it. Couldn't care less. Okay. The next thing is the Shrine of Secrets. Finally. I've been playing this game since September of 2017, not counting when, I took a break for a year or whatever. I said before that you should be able to buy a specific perk. You pay for it with shards or points or whatever. Even Orc cells, doesn't matter. If you want to buy a specific perk for a character you don't have, now you can. The old shrine, it has 4 random perks, 2 killer perks, 2 survivor perks, and you can, pick one or not pick any or buy one, you get extra blood points, whatever. And now you can just buy a specific perk. Thank God. Of course, if I'd known about this, I wouldn't have put any points in this Sadeko and Trickster, but again, it is what it is. Now, it says you won't lose any of your skins or whatever. Doesn't matter. Now, the next topic is matchmaking incentives. I'm sure you've been in several lobbies where you're waiting on a killer or survivors, mostly killer, but you're waiting on a killer to join the lobby so you can play a game. Well, what they're going to do now is give you bonus blood points to play the side that they don't have enough people for. It's up to 100% points, 25% to 100%, depending on demand levels. So if there's a day where everybody's playing Survivor, they'll offer 100% blood points to play Killer. I'll talk later about why that's a little strange, but anyways, it's kind of cool. If you want extra blood points, fine. Okay, here we go. The gameplay updates. The first thing is generator speed. Now, a while back, I think before last year, there were a lot of killers complaining about getting gen rushed. Complained about the toolboxes, they were getting gen rushed. Granted, the toolboxes were kind of OP depending on what add-ons you had. Fine. They need to be nerfed. They nerfed the toolboxes in the ground. You already know this. I'm not telling you anything new. Well, they decided that they need to slow it down a little bit more. So, what they're doing is it goes from 80 seconds normally to fix a gen, and now it's 90 seconds. Okay. Hold on, there's more. Now, if you kick a gen, it removes 2.5% progress automatically, which isn't a whole lot. I'm not saying it is. And it also regresses. There's no need for this. If you made it 10 seconds longer, you don't need to make it even longer if they kick the gen. It's stupid, but it is what it is. Okay. The next thing is general killer improvements. Now, what they're going to do, if you have ever used, what's that perk? God, I can't remember the name of it. Where you can kick something and, break something a little bit faster. The name of the perk's just flown on my head. But anyways, they're going to give you the tier 1 of that automatically. You can now break walls and pallets 10% faster. And gens too, as well. Now, here's where it gets... Oh, Brutal Strength. That's the name of the perk. Brutal Strength. Here's where it gets even worse for survivors. Now, the cooldown for successful basic attacks, they're reducing it by 10%. So, it's basically giving you 2 stacks of Play With Your Food. Is it Play With Your Food? Yeah, Play With Your Food. Giving you 2%, or not 2%, 2 stacks of that automatically. That's your base kit. Hold on, there's more. Also, the Survivor Speed Boost, after being hit, you get hit from healthy to injured. You run for, 3 seconds or whatever, 100%, 150% faster. Now, that's being decreased by 10% as well. It was it was 2 seconds, sorry. 1.8 instead of 2 seconds. So now, they can catch up faster and you're not going as far after you get hit. Okay. And they're also speeding up the bloodlust after 15, 25, and 35 seconds instead of 15, 30, and 45. That's not a huge deal, but it's still unnecessary. Whatever. They're only doing one general survivor improvement. All that stuff is for the killer. This is for the survivor, and it was needed years ago. It's about camping and tunneling. Now, how many times have you been unhooked off the hook and you get knocked down immediately? There's nothing you can do about it. As soon as you get the floor, bam, down. Now, you are getting a 5-second endurance after being unhooked. Everybody. Anybody who gets unhooked, 5-second endurance. And a 7% haste effect for 5 seconds. So basically, you're getting borrowed time for 5 seconds. That should have happened a long time ago, years ago. It's about time. Now, it can be canceled out early if you do anything progressive. Basically, anything you do for Decisive Strike to get canceled, same thing for this. You're not going to do a whole lot in 5 seconds. You're just going to run away, pretty much. This needed to be done a long time ago, as I said. But that is the only thing that survivors got in the general gameplay. The killers got all that as far as brutal strength, save the best for last, gens taking longer, regression being more, everything. That's the only thing that the survivors got. Now, we're going to talk about the perks, which everybody knows they're changing a bunch of perks. But the meta perks, they're changing most. The first one for killer, everybody expected it. Barbecue and chili, the best killer perk in the game. Well, some people think it is, and some people use it all the time on every killer. It's fair. They're keeping the aura reading and just getting rid of all the blood points. Which goes back to what I was saying before about you can get more blood points for playing something they need that's on demand. basically most of the time it would be killer. So they're getting rid of all the blood points for barbecue and chili, but they want you to play killer more. Okay. It didn't need to be nerfed. But if they wanted to nerf it, make 2 or 3 50% blood points. Okay, that'd be fine. Whatever. The next one is Ruin. Does Ruin need a nerf? Maybe. They are nerfing it 50%. So in tier 3, it goes from 200% regression to 100% regression. I don't use Ruin. Most of the time, if I ever use Ruin, it's gone in 2 minutes. I don't use it. But 50% nerf is too much. It's ridiculous. On the next one is Pop Goes the Weasel. Now, normally, right now, at this moment, you lose 25% when the killer kicks the gen after hooking somebody. So you got 4 pistons on the gen, you lose a whole piston. Basically what it is. Now, it's 20% of the current progress. Not total progress, current progress. So let's say you've done half the gen, 50%. You kick the gen, you automatically lose 10% of the gen, and that's it. It didn't need to be nerfed. If you're going to nerf it, if you really have desire to nerf it, make it 20% total progress, so you lose 5%. Okay, that'd be fine. This is just too much, in my opinion. The next one is Corrupt Intervention. I see Corrupt Intervention a lot. I don't care. It's fine. It's a perk. It is what it is. It blocks 3. You got 4 more to work on if you want. So be it. Now, this is how they're nerfing it. If you down somebody, Corrupt Intervention goes away immediately. Let's say you're using Billy, and you immediately just zoom across the map, and you hit somebody within 20 seconds. Corrupt Intervention at tier 3 is 2 minutes. If you down somebody, it's gone. I don't use Corrupt, but this is just dumb. What I would have done, if you're going to nerf it like this, what I would have done, first of all, I would have made it, instead of 2 minutes, make 1.5 minutes at tier 3. That'd be fine. But if you're going to do it like this, instead of the dying state, is what it says, once the survivor enters a dying state, instead of that, make it the survivor is hooked. So it makes the killer make a decision. If you're on the ground, do you want to hook him and lose your perk? Or do you want to go after somebody else and maybe give the survivor a chance to get up and run away? That's what I would have done if you're going to nerf it that way. It's too much. The next one is Tinkerer. Popular perk. It's a good perk. What they're doing with Tinkerer is, instead of, it gets 90% or 70%, you can knock it down, regress it, and when it gets back up to 70, it goes off again. What they're doing now is it can only go off 1 time per gen. I have no problem with that. That's fine. It goes off 1 time for the kill shack gen. It doesn't go off again after that. That's perfectly fine. I got no problem with it. The next one is NoEd. I hate NoEd. I don't use NoEd. And it's so fun when you get hit after finishing last gen. That being said, I don't think it needs a nerf, because you can cancel NoEd by cleansing the totems before you finish last gen. When I play solo or with my teammates, I'm trying to cleanse or totems. If I see a dull totem, I try to cleanse it, because, they could have NoEd. I don't think it needs a nerf, but the nerf they decide to do is when it's activated, you can see within 4 meters. So if you run around Kill Shack and it's in the corner, you can see it. Now, what else it does is it gradually increases over 30 seconds to 24 meters, which is pretty freaking far. So after 30 seconds, you can be able to see NoEd from a quarter of the map, basically. I don't think it needs that much of a nerf, but you know, I guess it's okay. Whatever. The next one is Squirrel Choke Pain Resonance. With Squirrel Choke Pain Resonance, when you hook somebody on Squirrel Choke, the gem with the most progression explodes, and anybody who is on the gen screams. They're getting rid of all of that. Well, not all of that. It's no longer exploding, it regresses. It still regresses, but it does not explode, and anybody who's on the gen does not scream. It doesn't need that much of a nerf. If they want to get rid of one of those, one of the two, say, somebody doesn't scream if they're on a gen, that's fine. You can still see it explode to see which gen has the most progress. Maybe go kick it, whatever. It doesn't need that much. Let's get to the survivor ones. Everybody knows the most common survivor perk is Dead Hard. What they're doing with Dead Hard is they're giving you, if you're running around, you hit the button for Dead Hard to activate it. Normally you Superman run for a second to get to a pallet or a window or just avoid the hit. Now what they're doing is you press the button and it gives you a 1 second borrowed time. If you get hit, then you basically, like borrowed time, you get hit and you surge ahead just like a regular hit. I don't have a real problem with this. I don't use Dead Hard. I know a lot of people do use Dead Hard and they're not going to be very happy about this, but I don't think it's a big deal because it's to protect yourself from a hit. And if you have a borrowed time and you get hit, you time it right, hit the button, you get hit, you're going to surge ahead anyways. It's okay. People are going to be really mad about it. I think it's all right. Which brings us to D-Strike. Now, a while back, D-Strike got nerfed. When D-Strike got nerfed, if you did anything progressive, you lose D-Strike. That's okay. That's not a big deal. If you're trying to help your team win, you're doing gens or healing somebody, it's okay. It's fine. Now, when you hit somebody with D-Strike, it reduces the time they're stunned from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. No. There's no need for that. There's absolutely no need for that. Oh, and once the exit gates are powered, not even open, powered, no more D-Strike. So, basically, if you are running away from the killer, let's say you're getting tunneled, your 5 second endurance is up, they're still chasing you, they finish the gens, they knock you down. You don't have D-Strike. It's not right. They shouldn't nerf D-Strike. I don't use D-Strike that much. I have it on like maybe 2 survivors, like a meme build. It doesn't need to be nerfed. It really doesn't. Back then, sure, because you're working on a gen. After you get unhooked, they pull you off. You hit them with D-Strike. I had no big problem with it getting nerfed last time. This time I do. It's just dumb. Borrowed time. You don't really need borrowed time anymore, so I don't really care. Iron Will. Now, I was singing the praises of Iron Will for years, and a couple of my friends started using it, and they love it. One of them has it on every character. He loves Iron Will. What they're doing is they're changing the grunts of pain reduction from 50 to 75 to 100 to 25, 50, and 75. Now, I've used Iron Will at 75% just to see what it sounds like. Within 8 meters, a killer can still hear you. So basically, it's worthless. Oh wait, there's more. Even if you decide to use Iron Will, it's no longer active when exhausted. So let's say you're hurt and you have Dead Hard, and you use your dead hard, and you avoid the hit, and you run around a corner or whatever, they can still hear you. Even at 75%, they can still hear you. So basically, they nerfed Iron Will to the ground, and I hate it because I like Iron Will. It's probably my second favorite Survivor perk, and now there's no point using it. Which brings us to self care. I don't use it all that much. Some people use it, some people don't. Now, do they're reducing self care to 25, 30. I'm just going to start telling a tier 3 percentage. It'd be a whole lot easier. They're lowering self care to 35%. It'll take a half hour to heal. If they have like sloppy or something, it's going to take like a whole minute to heal. They don't need to nerf self care. I don't even care that much, and it's dumb. But if you think that's bad, the next one is spine chill. Oh my god. Now with spine chill, it only activates if the killer has a clear line of sight to the survivor. Why would you need spine chill? If the killer can see you, you can see them. What? This is probably the dumbest nerf in the game. A couple of my friends use spine chill pretty much all the time, and they're not happy. This is dumb. Like, really dumb. I don't even use spine chill very much. Like, 3, 4 survivors in my spine chill? It's dumb. Okay, let's go to killer perk buffs. The first one is Overcharge. I do like Overcharge. I don't use it that much, but I do like it because at the beginning of the game, survivors aren't expecting it. Especially if you don't use Doctor. If you're using, like, I don't know, Huntress or something, you use Overcharge. Now, when you first, let's see. Yeah, when you first kick the gen, it's 100% regression speed. Okay. Now, after 30 seconds, it's 400%. So that's really strong. So let's say you find a gen that somebody's on and they run away and you kick the gen and you chase after them and nobody else gets on that gen. That's really strong. 400% after 30 seconds. There's really no need for ruin anymore if you're going to use this. I'm a gen kicker. I like to kick gens, okay? I don't use ruin. I kick gens. That's how I play. This is really strong. I mean, if you want to make it like 200%, that's pretty freaking good. 400% is ridiculous. Okay. Eruption, they've upped the the regression penalty 10% and the duration of the incapacitated effect to 15, 20, and 25 seconds. Holy crap. 25 seconds. That's a long time. You can't stop it. It's just going to keep regressing, and there's nothing you can do about it. Wow. The next one is Knockout. I don't think I've ever used Knockout. Ever. I've seen it a handful of times this year. But anyways, so with Knockout, got the usual, ability for Knockout. And now survivors crawl 50% slower for 15 seconds and reduce the recovery speed by 25%. That's pretty decent. I'm still not going to use it, but it's still pretty decent. The next one is Color Phobia. Got the usual effects, and now the speed of skill checks is 50% faster. So I guess it's going to go like this. Okay. Dark Devotion. It now activates whenever the obsession loses a health state. So instead of just you hit them from, is it healthy to injured? I think it's from healthy to injured. Now, even if you knock them down, you can still get, you know, undetectable for 30 seconds or whatever. I'm going to skip through a few of these because they don't really matter. Danny got a penalty buff, a decent one. Let's go to Survivor Perk buffs. Saboteur, now it'll show Scourge hooks in yellow instead of just showing, all the hooks in white. Now you can see Scourge hooks, so you can run the Scourge hook and take out that one so they can't hook them on a Scourge hook. That's not bad. Botany Knowledge got a pretty big buff. Instead of 33% at Tier 3, the increased healing speed is now 50%. Damn. That's a pretty good buff. But not as much as Off the Record. Off the Record, in Tier 3, you now get an endurance status effect for 80 seconds. Let me say that again. You now have basically an extra borrowed time for almost a minute and a half. So let's say you get off the hook and you get hit, you got borrowed time basically for a few seconds. Off the Record gives you an extra one. So let's say you hooked after the gens are done, okay? And you get rescued, doors open, and the killer hits you within your 5 seconds. You got borrowed time, and you run for the gate, and they hit you again. Tough luck for them. You can just run out the door because you can get out with the extra borrowed time. That's crazy. Why it's 80 seconds, I have no idea. A minute is too long, and that's just in Tier 1. That's ridiculous. Lucky Break, you can get more time for Lucky Break by healing people. That's kind of cool. I like it. You can get extra distortion by being close to the killer. Whatever, I don't use it. Trying to go through what's decent. Overzealous, you get 8% in Tier 3 for repairing after cleansing a totem. Now, here's a good part. If you cleanse a Hex totem with this perk, you get double the healing speed. So if you're in Tier 3 with Overzealous, and you cleanse a Hex totem, and let's say you take out Ruin, until you get hit, you get 16% gen repair speed. That's pretty good. I don't have Overzealous. I may think about buying it. Which brings us to the next perk, the last perk they have on this page. We're going to live forever, which is a Survivor blood point bonus perk. Not anymore. No longer do you get blood points for rescuing or taking protection hits. Now you get a token for when you heal survivors from a dying state. It grants them the endurance effect for 10 seconds in Tier 3. So basically, it's an upgraded version of Soul Guard. What the hell? There's no reason to nerf We're Gonna Live Forever. None at all. Like I said about barbecue, if you want to nerf it to 50% for Tier 3, okay. They've just killed We're Gonna Live Forever. There's really not much point to use it anymore. Most of the perks they changed, I don't like it. Killer and Survivor. Now, I'm going to say this. I am mostly a Survivor player. I do play Killer. I suck. I do play sometimes, change it up. Maybe get some blood points, whatever. But I want the game to be fair. some of the changes they made is just ridiculous. I mean, they said on this thing that they want to be more killer sided. Well, you accomplished the mission, so good job, I guess. So, anyways, that's my mostly rant about the changes. The PTB, I think, starts tomorrow, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't have a PC, so I won't be able to play it anyways. But that's all I got. Tell you comments down below what you think about it. I'm sorry this video is 30 minutes long, but there was a lot to cover, like I said. Anyways, thanks for watching this whole video, and I'll see you next time. Later.